Hello guys, and I am bringing you a normal commentary today. I know it has been a while since I've actually sat down and brought, just your generic commentary, but this is one that I've been saving for a while. Not the gameplay itself, but rather the story that kind of is gonna come along with the gameplay. Now this is M14 gameplay. A lot of people in my class act video, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you check out the latest episode of my class act. It is the L96 sniper rifle. It was actually pretty awesome if you ask me. It actually turned out fairly well. I was proud of it because I am not a good sniper. So if you haven't checked that out, feel free to check that out. I'll link it like now in an annotation, and you can check it out after the video. Actually, why don't you just click it in the description? That way you don't click away and miss this awesome story. So with that out of the way, I want to just go ahead and start the story. And if you can tell by the title, I'm sure that I've already given away the premise of the story. So let's just go ahead and start at my freshman year of college. At this point, I am a naive young college student and extremely bored in our dorm rooms, and for some reason me and my friends had the hobby of messing with people on AIM. I mean, it's not something that is it's not really that strange. I mean, a lot of people did it, and you gotta remember this is back in like 2005. So AIM still had chat rooms, and you still had your random internet pervs running around in those. But at the time, To Catch a Predator was extremely popular. It was like basically when it was at its height. People were watching it, and it was pretty much the talk of the TV at the time because, I don't know, it's just something about the show, watching people getting trapped, and it was just interesting to people, and we were interested too. So, we get this bright idea of going into these AIM chat rooms and just trolling people. We would go into, like, let me think of some of the names, like Home Alone or like Women Only or something like that. And there would always be these creepy old men in there and like younger guys. So eventually, like, we made these like fake IM names, and we didn't hold back. We made the profiles with like girly, quotes in them. We even made, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in like the early 2000s to like 2004-ish, there was these things called like extended profile in AIM where if you clicked it, you had all these like little like information thing about the person, and we had the pink font going and everything. Like we were trying to sell it, and we even had like we Google searched like pictures, and even had like fake stock photos to send to people whenever they would ask for a picture. So we would enter these chat rooms with these profiles we made, and I'm pretty sure my name was like Jessica or something, and I was from. We were in Champaign, which is in Illinois, at the University of Illinois, so we weren't too far from Chicago, and we would always get these pervs, from the area. IMing us. Like, as soon as we would enter the room, we would get like, 10 IM saying ASL. So it got to the point where we were getting really bold, and we were really confident that we could take this to the next level, and we started getting these, like I said, these random IMs. And so these one guys start talking to us, and it turns out he actually lives in Ohio but has family that lives in where my school is at. So we're like, oh man, this is the motherlode. But this guy wants to talk on the phone. And before we had done this, and some of my friends who actually lived in a different dorm had given out their dorm phone number and tried to impersonate a girl, which obviously isn't going to work very well. I would say out of my friends, I was doing the best job of convincing them that I was actually a female. I'm not too proud of that, to be honest, because never really seen myself as the type, but I guess I just played the role better than them. I used the LOLs, I used the smiley faces, and I really just sold myself. But we had failures with the phone part before, but back then texting wasn't huge, but I was one of the few people I knew that actually had like an unlimited texting plan at the time. I mean, this is, like I said, this is 2005. So I'm like, you know what? I got this. So I give the guy my cell phone number, but I tell him that he can only text me. He can't call me because, my dad doesn't, I don't want my dad seeing this. So this guy is, he's all into this. He's wanting to text me. He's wanting to meet up. And I don't know about you guys, but it is not a pleasant thing to wake up in the morning and, get ready for your lecture, and you'll be sitting in your lecture, then all of a sudden you get a raunchy text from like a 35-year-old man wanting to meet up. So the name this guy went by was Kevin, and he was from Ohio, and he had family that lived in Central Illinois, and he was going to come visit them, and on the way he wanted to meet up. So at this point I was skeptical. I knew that this is probably getting a little bit out of hand, but my friends were like, no, you got this guy. So we keep texting. After a week goes by, he's like, yep, I'm for sure coming, and he's wanting to meet up. He's already talking about like where we're gonna go. We're gonna like first we're going to go to Steak and Shake, then he was going to get us a hotel, maybe going to a movie. And I mean, this guy was sending me raunchy texts, and you know, I would reveal them here, but it would be extremely weird for me to say them aloud. I might save that for like the blooper reel in part 4, because this is going to be a 4-part series, because it does not end with just this guy. It actually gets more interesting as they go on. This one ends a little bit anticlimactic, but it is still interesting in its own respect. But so this guy's coming to meet us, and like I said, these texts are just out of hand, and he is just a creepy old man. I think he was like 40. He worked for some industrial company, and he was getting the time off, and he was going to drive he had to deliver a truck to like his uncle that lived in like really close to where the school was at. So we're arranging this meetup. He wants to meet at a Steak and Shake on one of the main like strips of the area. So we're like, yeah, that's perfect. You know, be open area. If this guy like goes nuts on us, we can, you know, be there to kind of there'll be people there to kind of save us from the embarrassment. But this guy is all about it. He's ready to go. Like we make the meeting. So we arrive at Steak and Shake, and as soon as we get there, we see that there's like a huge group of cops. I guess they were on their dinner, and I'm sitting there, and I get a text, and the guy's like, yeah, I'm not going in there, there's too many cops, and I'd rather just not be around cops. And I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, I guess it would be weird when you know that you're a pedophile and you're sitting there trying to hook up with like this 14-year-old girl. But anyways, he spooked out of the Steak and Shake meetup location. So I'm like, I text him like, all right, there's a Walmart that's right next door. Let's go meet there. But before we had ever left to meet up with this guy, we made the stupid decision to all wear hockey jerseys, and it was really obvious that we were in a group. So we get to Walmart, we're walking around, and we all have on these hockey jerseys. And my girlfriend at the time is with us, so that is extremely awkward. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but the way to woo the ladies is not to be a child predator and trapper, because she was pretty off put by this, but we did anyway. So we get to Walmart, and the guy is, you know, he's spooked because he's like, oh, I always see these kids walking around in hockey jerseys. He's like, I want to call this off. And, you know, at this point, we've been able to figure out who it is because I can see him texting on his phone. And this guy's big. You know, I wouldn't want to mess with him. I mean, even my friend is, you know, 6'6", like, you know, 250 pounds, and I still wouldn't have wanted to mess with this guy, because who knows how someone's going to act when they're, like, enraged. So this guy, basically, he calls it off, and as we're leaving, we reveal to him that it's been a huge scam. We run up to him and say, the jig is up, and then we drive off. And the guy texts me later saying how we broke his heart, and he continues to text me on and off for the next couple of weeks saying how I super embarrassed him and all this. And it turns out he didn't actually realize that it wasn't a girl that was doing this. But hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the first part of 3. I will be making 2 more parts, so be sure to rate this and comment and let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys next time in part 2 and 3, where it gets a lot more interesting. Peace.